Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and today I'm here to bring you guys a new Bleach Chapter 553 prediction. And hopefully after this week, I will be able to fully get back on my Bleach grind, my Naruto grind, and my One Piece grind. Even though I actually purposely stopped One Piece videos like a while ago, but I'm considering actually reviewing those again as well, and actually doing it on a weekly basis. But hopefully things go right, because I know it's been a while since y'all seen a Bleach video from me. But anyway, this week's Bleach chapter was actually a pretty informative one. So before I get to the prediction as to what I think is going to happen, I'm going to do like usual and give you guys my synopsis, and then give you guys my review, and then my prediction as to what I think is going to happen. Now, of course, this week's chapter start off, we saw the Stern Ritter that we saw in the previous chapter towards the end, the one that fought against Hitsugaya. I believe they said his name is Changdu. So basically, Changdu is the one that took away Hitsugaya's Bankai and the first invasions the Quincy's had. And we also find out that Changdu is also Stern Ritter Letter I. Now, the reason why he's there, well, basically, he's taking away, Busby's killer, his prey from him, because he wants to finish off Hitsugaya. And his excuses is that, I guess, Juhabak told them that that's what they're supposed to do. And I'm assuming, obviously, Busby's a little pissed off about it. Which I don't know if it's just me. Busby really, I guess, because he's a hothead, kind of reminds me of Grimjoe. Like, I want those two to fight for some reason. I just want to see those two fight. And if not Grimjoe and Busby, then I want like Kensei and Busby to fight. But anyway, I know y'all don't even really care about that. Mainly, what the that particular dialogue involved was, of course, him giving a reason as to why he feel like he should be the one to kill Hitsugaya. And then we also found that he already knocked out Rangiku. So Rangiku, she's all bloody, because I know everybody was wondering where's Rangiku, where she's at, and he's basically about to finish them all off together, and he's using Hitsugaya's Bankai to do so. So he turns on the Bankai, and it looks like it's about to be a wrap for them. From that point on, we see Mayuri in his lab, and we also get some dialogue with Urahara, because Urahara like somehow contacts Mayuri, and you can tell Mayuri's a little bit irritated about this, so a little bit comic relief with that, because he's pissed off, like, what the heck, like, what are you doing contacting me, and I didn't even know it, and I don't know, it's funny to see those two interactions. You can always tell how jealous Mayuri is of Urahara's intellect. So from that point on, Urahara gets serious. He explains, the whole process of, or actually before that, he was starting to explain, how Quincy's take, I guess you could say, Bankais. Like, basically, they can even take Arrancar's Resurrections, technically speaking. The difference is if they take it, we found out Hollow's, I guess, power, or Hollow power, or anything that's a little bit Hollow-like, is like poison to Quincy's. So when when they actually used, that's why they never took any of the Roncar's Resurrections, and they only used them as soldiers instead, because obviously, they couldn't, otherwise they would hurt them, or possibly kill them. So obviously that gives the Shinigami a fighting chance. So Urahara basically developed these little pills, so that they can like, I guess you could say, somewhat hollowify the Shinigami's Bankai for like a quick instant, and or not their Bankai, but the Ryatsu for a quick instant, in order to poison the Quincy so that they can't steal their Bankais, and I guess through some means be able to reobtain their Bankais as well, because of course the Quincy's won't hold on to them then. So they leave them in all the different parts of the little society, and I guess even if they touch them, like if the Shinigami touch them, just touch them, they'll be able to hollowify just for an instance, in order to be able to actually, hollowify their Bankais once, or get their Bankais once again. So pretty much, obviously, all the Shinigami do it. Hitsugaya does it at the end of the chapter, and then we see the effect of Changdu actually getting affected by the holification, or the mini holification that Hitsugaya is going under to get his Bankai, and that pretty much was the end of the chapter. Seeing, like blood, it looked like blood coming out from his back. So anyway, the as far as what I thought about the chapter as a whole, very informative. Didn't have really any problems with pacing. Threw a little comic relief in. We don't really get that too much sometimes. And I always love Bleach's comic relief. I've always loved it, and especially Cone. I used to love Cone a lot, although Cone wasn't in this week's chapter. But I always thought Bleach does well with that. So, in my book, in terms of a rating, there's not really too much to complain about. We even found out this what Stern Ritter letter he is, or Chengdu, what Stern Ritter letter he is. So he's right underneath Busby. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like the chapter did it was pretty solid. It did what it was supposed to do. So as far as a rating goes, I simply would just give it captain level. In my opinion, man, I felt like it was great chapter, no problems. Definitely was something that you can't really skip without finding out. Or if you skipped it, then obviously you would be missing a chunk of information in next week's chapter. So I definitely think that's a major factor because if we all know there's a certain manga right now that is kind of giving off some fillerish chapters, or actually a certain two manga right now that are giving off fillerish chapters lately. So I'm definitely glad that Kubo's doing a good job as far as making every chapter count, and actually serve its purpose. So I definitely have to give this a captain level rating. I mean, Bleach has consistently throughout this war been earning those ratings, and that's due to the fact that I felt like Kubo's been pacing it out very well. Pacing is very key, in my opinion, in terms of when these writers do this manga because or do their manga because it equates to the amount of information that you get in a certain amount or in a certain chapter or the focus of a chapter. Versus obviously if you just throw out a bunch of random information that doesn't really matter, then it feels fillerish. So yeah, captain level rating. Now, what I wanted to say at the beginning of this video, but I didn't really talk about, is it kind of made me think about the fact that like this chapter got me thinking about when not Hitsugaya, Urahara, when he talked about giving them these pills and how Hollow's powers basically are like poison to the Quincy. Shouldn't the Vizards technically be considered like a special war potential by Juha Bach? So it kind of makes me wonder if he planned this out on some Eisen type stuff, like he like has this basically exactly as planned, or maybe I don't know. I mean, he didn't think the Shinigami would actually come up with this, so it wasn't. It was like in the back of his mind. He didn't really see it as a problem at all. Them getting their Bankais back, because I don't know. I mean, I just feel like the Vizards they should really be able to wreck stuff. I mean, the Vizards don't even need that pill. They could just be like, oh, qualify, Bankai, let's go. Kensei would be like, oh, there's no issue then. You can't take my Bankai. So I don't know. Like that part kind of made me think about the Vizards should be considered a lot bigger threat than, even some extent the Fullbringers should as well. So I'm definitely expecting an invasion from the Fullbringers and Urahara's army. Maybe not sometimes. So I don't want it to be too soon because I kind of feel like, we gotta see some of the Shinigami that are already there fend for themselves a little bit. So that it actually seems, like it's, all paced out since Juha Bach does intend on making this last or destroying them in I believe it was 10 days or so. So I mean I'm expecting for us to at least go through a number of different days. So I want to see the Shinigami at least hold up somewhat of a defense right now. And then later on everybody come in. But we'll see. I mean it does seem a little quick that we're getting these Bankais back this fast, but at the same time I think that maybe Juha Bach has already planned this out in some means. So, what do I expect from next week's chapter of Bleach? I think that, obviously, the Quincy's, or Hitsugaya probably will get his Bankai back because obviously he's already down for the count now. They're not going to kill him off. At least I hope not. He's like my second favorite character. But if, obviously, I'm thinking he's probably going to get his Bankai back. But the Quincy's, or Juha Bach more specifically, probably has a plan. He probably expected this in some shape, way, or form. Maybe he rigged the Bankai so when they get him back, some of the Shinigami, will be, like he'll be able to control them somehow. I don't know, but I don't think that they're just gonna get their Bankais back and then just start wrecking the Quincy from here on out. I definitely don't expect that. Obviously, it has to be a true challenge for the Shinigami. I mean, even with their Bankais, the Quincy are overpowered, but I don't think that they'll really have much of a, or they're going to really have a huge. I guess they can't be too on par with the Quincy's at this early in the stage, in my opinion. You have to still kind of show that the Quincy's are still a huge threat, and that they're not going to be taken out, or even they're the biggest threat the Shinigami ever faced. Basically, was what I'm trying to say. Like, I want them to seem like a bigger threat than even the Arrancar during the Arrancar War, if that makes any sense. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit right now, but anyway, these are pretty much my thoughts on the Bleach chapter. I definitely think the next Bleach chapter should be pretty good. You know, plenty of action. Hitsugai probably stepping it up to the plate again. Um, maybe you'll have somebody try to help him out in combat. Against somebody else will probably try to take on Busby. Who knows? I mean, I doubt Renji's gonna come back this soon, or maybe Kensei will actually fight against Busby right now because I know Hitsugai is gonna need help. So that's what I think is gonna happen. I think that Kensei or somebody who probably has a similar personality as Busby is probably going to go ahead because Kubo likes to do little matchups like that and take on Busby while Hitsugaya takes on Shangdu because that's how it kind of seems right now. Will both of them be in there? Hitsugaya definitely won't be able to take both of them out unless he just overpowered now because we do know he trained over the time skip to perfect his Bankai. But anyway, this is pretty much the end of the video. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I also have a link to another video called Yumacon 2013 Meetup. Basically, it's a meetup that me, Ryu Itachi, the Elite Ace, Death Note Guy Zero are having in Detroit on October 31st through November 3rd. So if you're interested in hanging out with us or even going to the convention itself, check it out in the link below. I definitely suggest it. Even if you don't have any money, you can probably go to the event free. You just won't be able to get into some of the stuff. But anyway, again, like I said, check out the link below to watch the video so I can obviously explain to you more details. But that brings us to the end. So